Okay. Hello, my guys. I'm back to Lebo Nation. And today there's a fuck, man. I forgot, man. I didn't get my copybook with me. Hot damn. All right. So I'm going to consider this an act of faith or fate. An act of fate. Uh, I prepared some stuff that I wanted to think about today, but for some reason it wasn't really connecting. But today's my first day back. So the thought process was that I would literally uh, here's the structure that I had laid out. One was, and by the way, this is a normal cigarette, Golden Virginias. It's a normal fucking cigarette. So the plan was simple. I'm gonna recap what happened last week. I'm not gonna recap the things that we talked about, but I'm gonna recap the places I saw and my idea of how I was trying to get research done. And tomorrow I'm actually going to like do it as an exercise because like over the past couple of videos it has been more like the theoretical aspect of things and the things I get to think about while actually preparing, right? But right now, officially, the work has started. We already have become, already have started basically working. I need to start being able to build. I need to start writing plans. I need to start creating the structure where they actually get to work on top of. So the places I visited the office and I visited the factory. Okay, that place, that in a an adult in Erbil. The goal was for me to actually scope the area, understand the region, maybe figure out some of the culture. I even had a meeting with some people. We did a closed group session to hear their opinions, their thoughts, how they process things, how they think. Uh, anyway, I look at it. I'm the older generation. I'm an '80s kid, 1985. So I was there when technology wasn't a thing yet. I recently, over the past 2 years, started delving into it by learning programming and all the good stuff. The new generation is a lot more technologically oriented. Like they're driven by what technology has to offer. So one thing I notice is everyone has smartphones, right? And that's a thing worldwide. It's become a thing. Big thing over there is Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. Apparently, they're the bigger social like apps that exist over there. And I understand why Facebook, why Instagram and TikTok. Snapchat, I thought was kind of like dying out. For some reason, it doesn't exist where I am right now, but they use it, which means that's something else that I have to consider as well. But at the very least, the base is covered, right? Because I literally like took a full course about how to do about social media strategies, about how to do Meta and Pixel, and how to work with Facebook and Instagram ads, and the tips and tricks of how to actually make them work and get like the views you want, and how to structure your online marketing strategies, whether it is an awareness campaign or whether it is a conversion campaign, and all that good stuff. Now remember, we do not have an online shop, which are what most actual courses are designed towards. But what we have is a factory that's trying to do something, and we need to find a way to get more customers to know the factory exists, to push for it, and all the good stuff. I am in charge from point A, which is whatever system they have that's working, that has been working for 8 years, but they want to level up. So I talked myself into this. Like the way I pitched what they were doing to the owner was a lot better than how he wanted to pitch it to the people. So I kind of like he came to me. I remember one time and he goes like, "We manufacture plastic tanks," and I go like, "No, why did you enter into manufacture into plastic tanks?" He started giving me answers. He said quality. He said it's not there. He started telling me all the business opportunities. The value that he was providing, he was not actually aware of it because ultimately, like with high quality products, you kind of like get a higher quality service and a higher margin of safety. And just like he's working with water, man. So the whole campaign, and he works in a place that's mostly desert. There are barely any trees over there, or like rivers that are historically talked about. But one of the rivers actually started drying out this year, and there was like a prophecy about that river. And it's like a beautiful thing. I think it has something to do with the earth and like astronomy and our ancestors trying to tell us something basically through stories. But ultimately, we're in the phase of the world where there's a lot more heat. So, and he sells tanks for water, all sizes, and good quality, decent production line. And he measures everything from A to Z. Like it's very like cute to see people that are actually very much interested in actually delivering what they see fit, even though they're in the middle of nowhere and there's a whole lot of shit that they could actually use to save on costs. He never considered that. So we kind of have to send that message to the world, or at the very least the region where he's working. And we have to enhance it in a way where like we actually get sales. The goal is to slowly target these one step at a time to be able to like target the people that might be interested in this, that look at this, that consider these things. There's a big market for it, man. Uh, when there's a drought, you want bigger tanks, you want better tanks, because like if water's not flowing, it runs stale, and some tanks do stuff. Some tanks, steel tanks with low quality rust, plastic tanks of low quality crack under the sun or start basically like becoming moldy in the inside because the plastic isn't like doing its job. Like he explained all this stuff to me. It's beautiful. And I saw the production line, like super quality stuff. But my job is to kind of like the structure of the management over there will probably have to change in order for them to kind of like warm up to what we're doing because they kind of have to start the customer service has to be up to it. The selling points have to be up to it. They have to be up to par so that if we get if I actually succeed, they can't fail. So it's a harmonious kind of like work where I got my work done for me, where I get to promote and actually like talk to the like creators and be creative when it comes to the marketing and to the strategies. But also on a consulting basis, I actually have to set up everything when it comes to the company in order for them to be able to scale. That's a lot, dude. I ain't gonna lie. I talked myself into this. Super excited. But I've never actually done this before for something other than my own stuff. Like I've worked on stuff before, but I normally worked on the actual initiation of the business and going to market of the business. But I never actually took a business and I kind of like leveled it up, scaled it up, uh, took it from one place and like because then a level up of this sort literally means about a 300% increase in production. We're not talking about a 10% increased sale to 20% increased sale. They're not reaching the market. They barely have 5% of the market. They're having a lot of trouble with the salespeople, the agents. Yeah, they call them agents. The agents that are selling for them because they're still selling in an old school fashion way. We kind of have to like exhibit some form of control, some form of command on our product line slash on our brand in order for people to kind of like be on our side so that we actually have the flow through the agents differently. It's beautiful stuff. I was thinking about it more the Sun Tzu, the art of war kind of thing. And I'm very much a fan of Japanese. Whoever actually watched a couple of my video, like Japanese culture is very much like into the how to consider other human beings and how to consider yourself when it comes to other human beings. So it's a beautiful like staging of things that ultimately mount up to a job well done. And I have a couple of things in my mind, but I have to write the plan. I have to like be detailed in the strategy. I have to write the demands that I have from the people. And there's a whole lot of stuff that kind of have to like elaborate on and be very much like transparent in order for the people that are working with me. And there are four people, three managers and one extra person with a lot of potential. These people have to, one way or another, through the process over the next 3 months to 6 months, be trained with the new system as I am learning and as I am actually like engaging with them and basically giving them tasks to do and duties to do in order to level up. I have to do all that. And funny enough, 3 months ago when I started this YouTube channel, I started it on the basis that we're starting an e-commerce business, but that fucking tanked. But now I actually have a solid contract and a guy that actually gave me money, and he's like, "Hey man, you're in charge. I want you to set things up." So it's a beautiful kind of go with the flow kind of like situation. I'm still coding, and I'm still today I started working on like version 1.0.4 of my actual website. And I already set up the stack that I want, and I already set things up. And even though I'm confident right now that I can do it, I still have no experience in the things that I'm going to be working with, which means that's like a learning curve to be happening. And part of the concerns that I'm looking at right now are mainly how I would set my time. But early mornings when I wake up and go to work, the first 4 hours are like pure bliss because all I get to think about is just what I'm doing. And that will probably be just for the code. That would be amazing because I'd like let everything out. And that would consume energy. But everything else requires thought, right? When you're coding, you know what you have to do. You plan it, you set it up, and you kind of make a decision. And then from there, you just kind of like do the work. But with this one, most of the work is very much creative, and I have to rely on other people to do the work until I can do mine. So the goal is fairly simple: organize the pieces on the board, tell them what to do, or like kind of like engage with them, and find. I have to be a lot better as a leader, right? I have to like be able to like guide the whole initiative towards a certain thing. And I need to make sure, like, even though they're enthusiastic about being a part of it, most people are resistant to change. And there's a lot that need to be considering as I move forward. I have no clue. I think of most of them that I'm used to, but I feel this is going to be super intense and amazing and interesting, and I'm super excited. And today I wanted to read my notes of the 7 days, but I didn't get the book, which means I got to explain this now. And starting tomorrow, we're on duty. Yay! Peace suits.